Papa's here once again, and I got a beautiful, explosive concoction of destruction Scion, nay, Ascendant build for you. This is the third variant I've done so far in the last few leagues, though this one is much closer to the last one I made in 3.25 Calgary League 17 years ago, as that was also an Ascendant. The main difference this time around is I went for the Enmity Ring setup. That's right, the new beautiful Enmity's Embrace. It's on the screen right now. Very cool ring. I think I'm gonna make 15 builds around this ring alone. The other major difference is that this build is about half as good as the last one. However, the cost is about 1/10, with Svalin Shield being like 60 divines or something, maybe 1/20th of the cost of the build. Alright, this one's fairly cheap, and for a league starter, I'm super happy with it and how it turned out. I've been able to clear all content besides the Feared Invitation, and it's not that I think that it can't do it, I've just been too lazy to kill Chayula and the other boss, which is Uber Atsiri herself. That's right, too lazy. Now, before we get into the gear section, I did want to mention that this build was primarily made for the mapping and not the bossing, because the flask charges do run out all the time because of the lack of flask charges gained on the tree and the lack of cluster jewels like I had last time. So it is important to have them resistance capped without flasks up. I will also link all of the POB iterations I made for this build, because this was a doozy. To get to the Enmity setup took a lot of time. So please bear with me as I go through the gear right now. So this is my Enmity ring. I was able to snipe it for like 15 chaos. I don't think the person realized what he had at the time. It was like day 2 or 3 of the league. Although the 15% to all resistances really add maybe about 5% fire res, so nothing crazy. The Dragon Replica Flight Amulet for them damages. This is a self-crafted 2 divine ring. Self-crafted, yes, I slammed 29 to maximum life myself. Thank you very much. Lightning Coil, this one was 5 divines. If you didn't get the +1, you can get one for 2 divines. Adds about maybe 9-10% more damage. Very cheap helm, just some resistances, life, intelligence, nothing crazy. Gloves, again, nothing crazy. We do have the exposure, rage on, hit, but most importantly, we have that chaos and fire resistances. And then same thing with the boots. Nothing crazy, just fire resistances and chaos resistance. Now, at the time of recording, the Tides of Time Vanguard belt is not that bad. You can get the utility flasks gain even just 2 charges every 3 seconds for 70 chaos. At the time when I was making this build, there were about 2 or 3 divines just for a crappy one. So I got myself the Magnate, not only for the 10% chance to do double damage, but also, if you think about it, 50% increased flash charges gained is about 1.5, because of our ascendancy, about 1.5 flash charges gained every 3 seconds. So really it kind of equated to almost having the Tides of Time Vanguard belt. So that's why I didn't go for that belt. As for the shield, I was using the Dawnbreaker for quite a while, and it's definitely good, and Scorching is nice and everything, but if you do the math, again, we're trying to do as much penetration as possible via the Enmity ring. So I wanted the block chance, I wanted nice life, and I wanted the fire resistance. So remember, when you're searching for all these items, I mean, you might have noticed already, all 4 rare pieces, I searched for chaos, basically chaos res or all res, a nice flat huge fire resistance, and then an open suffix, so I myself could either fix my resistances, in this case lightning, or I could just get the chaos resistance and fire resistance to again ensure I have much fire penetration. As you can see with everything up, I can't really do the math, but we have about 130% fire penetration, so not too shabby. And then for in-game attack and spell block chance, 60-40, not too bad. We also have the spell suppression chance, which is 77%, but again, it's lucky, so it's about 90 or so. And a little bit of damage, physical mitigation, estimated reduction, which is setting about 12,000. As far as the tree goes, it's pretty self-explanatory, I think, but something that's a little bit nuanced is make sure you have a way to leech mana, which in my case I have Fuel the Fight, and then I chose to go for Blacksmith here to get that fire damage leech as live. So those are my two sources of leech. Even though, again, we're basically a flask finder, we have a nice flask, which is not even, oh, by the way, none of my flasks are even, quantitied. So that's something to kind of be aware of. I think the main one is definitely the mana one. You could always grab Clever Thief over here. If you wanted the mana leech that way, you can get life, accuracy. So, I mean, coming over here is not necessarily bad. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with another beautiful video.